What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode here at Airbnb Rental Empire. I appreciate you guys following my channel. I appreciate the likes, the comments. I'm here to help you guys. What I want to talk about right now is in 2022, late 2022, what is my strategy for Airbnb rental arbitrage? The real estate market is changing. You have interest rates mortgage rates are above 7% when they were 3.5% in March of this year. And now that is changing the dynamics of the real estate market as a whole because the market has essentially come to a standstill. There are not a lot of sales going on. Depends on their area, of course, where you are and that sort of thing. But there's also a lag effect. So a lot of these things, you're going to hear things like, oh, prices haven't come down. That is true. Prices haven't come down because sellers are still unrealistic in their pricing, thinking, oh, things are going to change. I'm still holding on to my price. Reality hasn't set in, and that takes 6 to 12 months. So that time is still coming. But since I don't own most of my properties and I do Airbnb rental arbitrage, it's a little bit different because I'm going to owners and I'm telling them that I'm going to rent the property from them and I'm going to be an excellent tenant and I'm going to take care of it and pay them on time and I'm going to operate my business. Now, what am I seeing right now? I'm already seeing that more owners are replying to my messages. They're replying to my cold emails and saying, yes, I'm interested. Tell me a little bit more. I noticed this maybe a month and a half ago that all of a sudden, wait a minute, I'm getting more prospects are coming back to me on my cold outreach than they were before. Now, what is the reason for that? Probably because the economy is softening a little bit and all of a sudden their unrealistic expectations of maybe selling or even renting, they're feeling the economy is turning, so they're looking for more stability. And I think that I offer to these owners stability in the form of I have excellent credit and I'm going to take excellent care of their property. I don't know that for a fact, but that's what I think it is. As I'm getting more deals presented to me, people are coming to me and saying, yes, I'm interested in your offer. That is when I screen the properties actually to decide if it's something that I want to do arbitrage with. Because I don't have the time to go through every single property before I do a cold outreach. That is just a waste of my time. I do essentially a blanket outreach over the geographic area with the general qualifying criteria that I'm looking for. And then when I get warm interest, then I decide, then I look at it in a little bit more detail and figure out if it's something that I want to do. So what is my strategy right now in late 2022? It is primarily that I am taking on nothing but properties that I really want to do, properties that do not need a lot of work, and properties that are going to cash flow well. I know this may sound obvious, but there was a time 6-8 months ago where it seemed like I wasn't getting a lot of deals. It was a little bit slower coming. And I took on a couple deals, one in particular that right now, if I was presented that deal again right now, would I do it over? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that deal. That was another deal I talked about where I did quite a bit of repairs in there, actually at the owner's expense, so it wasn't bad in that regard, but it did take quite a bit of work to get it set up, and it still hasn't quite materialized the way that I wanted to. It has still been very profitable. I don't have any complaints about that, but it's just one of those things that it's not quite up to the quality standards as a whole of the rest of my portfolio. Most of my portfolio is relatively modern and updated. This one is slightly less updated. And I did some repairs. Again, the owner paid for those repairs and I did those things to make it nicer, but it's still not quite up to my standards. So right now I would not take that deal on again, for sure not. I just turned down a deal the other day. I'm getting presented these offers. People are kind of excited to work with me. Oh, the owner's so excited. The agent said to rent to you. Okay, great. Let me take a look at it. And then I look at it and I'm kind of lukewarm on it. And I'm like, you know what? It's not worth my time. There comes a point in scaling your business. It depends where you are in this process. If you're a beginner and you don't have any properties, you don't have many properties, then I would advise you essentially take on almost anything that is going to make money and you're not going to lose money on it. You have to be the one that figures out what is your time worth. I know what my time is worth, and my time is not worth taking on a deal that's going to give me more headaches than I want to deal with today. I want to take on clean properties that are updated. Even if I have to pay a little bit more, I know they're going to operate more efficiently and it's going to be less work for me involved in the beginning in terms of getting them set up. You see, I have systematized my business pretty well where I don't need to be too hands-on once the properties are going. But in terms of the setup, that is something that I still personally have a heavy hand in, and I do most of my design. I don't hire a designer. I've looked at it, and one, it's expensive, and B, I enjoy the design aspect of it. So that's something that I like to do. I like to personally curate my properties in terms of how the look that I'm going for, Could I hire somebody for? Sure, I could. But I just haven't basically done that because I've focused on the systems of the day-to-day operations more than that. So with that being said, when I'm taking on a new property, I know that I'm going to have to be involved with it with my time personally, and I want to make sure that my time is being spent well and I'm not spending an excessive amount of time in terms of furnishing the property and setting it up, and if there are repairs to do, I don't want to do that. But again, if you guys are beginners and you don't have a lot of properties, you can take on these properties that are a little bit more work because you're trying to get your foot in the door and you're also trying to build your portfolio and you're trying to build your resume so that you can present it to other owners and say, this is what I have, this is what I've been doing. Here, take a look at my property. You can see the reviews, you can see the quality of the property. I even present to owners. I've never had anybody take me up on the offer, but if somebody is a little bit hesitant about the Airbnb program, I offer to them, hey, do you want to come and look at one of my other properties the day after somebody checks out? I'm happy to show it to you live in action. So if you're a beginner and you don't have any properties, the fact you can get your first property, that has value because then you can present that offer to other owners as well and tell them, hey, come look at my property and see how it works. So again, it may sound obvious, but in 2022, right now, late 2022, what I am taking on is I am only taking on properties that are going to cash flow really well. They're going to operate pretty well. I don't have a lot of maintenance and repairs, and I'm not going to get a lot of guest complaints about things. Those are the properties that I want to take on right now. I'm curating my portfolio to be super tight and just a cash flow machine. I mean, right now, I'm still making a lot of money. This is the slowest time of year, November before the holidays. This is not a good time of year in terms of the revenue that you're earning in comparison to the rest of the year. But nevertheless, this is a time when I focus on operations, I take care of repairs, I update furniture and do things like that. So if you're a seasoned operator like I am, then I would advise the same thing. You're going to get more properties presented to you in all likelihood than you have in the past. So I would tighten up the portfolio right now and not take on these properties that are, kind of headaches and time consuming. Because again, the only thing that you can't get more of is your personal time. I can leverage other people to help me out, but my time is valuable and I don't want to spend an excessive amount of time on these properties that have issues. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope these tips helped you and help you maybe get a little bit of a handle in terms of what your business model looks like. If you guys want to give me some comments in the comments and tell me about your business model and what it is you're looking to do. Are you guys trying to get into the business as your first property, your second property, your third property? Or are you expanding the portfolio to get 10, 20 properties? Where are you at? I'm excited to hear about it. I'm currently operating at, I believe, 15 properties. I know it's crazy. I don't even know how many properties I'm at. I think it's either 15 or 16. I'm waiting on the permitting process of one of them. But either way, that's about where I'm at in my portfolio, and these are all good cash flowing properties. Again, there's one in the portfolio that I would drop if I could, or I wouldn't start it over. I'm not going to drop it because it is making money and I already went through the setup, but I would not take that property on today. So my focus has changed a little bit. Right now it's streamlining operations and making sure this thing works well. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and I'll be back with more information for you guys soon.